let's talk about Sonnet 3 of the Bloodless Blade. As always, I'm not going to reread the whole poem as a single block, but I'm going to go through line by line and explain what I mean by them. So we have, my sister spoke against a crueler fate. So this comes back to the previous poem, where we have, she spoke her part without thought of caprice. We didn't know who she was at this point. Well, this is the prince's sister. So this is the prince speaking now. It was the princess who caused offense. So against a crueler fate than most could face without a bout of rage. So this is something bad. Someone wanted something bad to happen to her in some way, and she was terrified. How might a princess speaking out relate to you so far you'd come to be assuaged? Like, how does this relate to you? Why should you care? Most of this is pretty straightforward at this point. So yeah, why should you care that a princess is getting offended? Why do you need to come here? And it's a little bit naive. It's a little bit, and we will get to that later in the sonnet. The prince did not omit the greatest scope. So he sort of like, he didn't intentionally, the idea here is he didn't intentionally say, nah, this is irrelevant, you don't matter. He's not intentionally saying that. He's just really, really concerned about what might happen to his sister. And that's what we continue on with the next line. His sister's wants were all that he'd effuse. Like, he is really, really focused on what might happen to his sister. It gave his oldest friend a sense of hope that naive notions might be disabused by conversations on the wider world beyond the walls he'd lived his life within. So that's one whole sentence here. So 4 lines, 1 sentence. And this is something that I'm going to keep doing whenever someone is like feeling a sort of strong emotion. The stronger the emotion is, the more lines we're going to see a single thought spread across. So this thought is really saying, hey, this guy is being naive. He's being like, oh, this isn't going to affect you. It's just a spat between 2 royal families. It's not an issue. You'll be fine. But of course, that is a naive thing to think, and it is going to affect these people so very much. And so the petitioner, the commoner here, is being like, I think because he really is just caring so much about his sister that he's ignoring the wider scope. If I tell him about the wider scope, then he'll get it. He'll get it, right? And then, but once those darker shades had been unfurled, the second prince would face his first chagrin. So this is saying this prince has never not got what he wanted before. This is going to be like the first time he's been told, you are wrong. And what's going to happen? We don't know what's going to happen in that situation. So, now, of course, this is from the perspective of the petitioner. He thinks that the prince has never had anything sort of wrong, has never been told that he's wrong, has never had anyone go against him. But of course, we're just learning here now he is a second prince. So maybe there's something to that, and we will learn more about that later on. Would then he see himself fit to defy the system that demanded his war cry? So this is relevant to him being the second prince, and we're going to see more on that later, but the idea here is that within this particular kingdom, the second prince is the person who commands the army. So I will explain why in a later sonnet, but that is very relevant here. That's why I intentionally put his on the stress syllable here. So in iambic pentameter, we've got the system that demanded his war cry. So his is on the stress, and that was very intentional to really push that idea that it's his war cry specifically, not his kingdom's, his, because he's the one who leads the armies. Now, that's something you might only notice on reread if you don't get an explanation like this, but it is relevant. So yeah, that's Sonnet 3. Let me know what you think, and if you'd like to see more, please subscribe.